Premier League action returns to the Emirates Stadium on Tuesday night when Arsenal host Chelsea. Yes, welcome back to the Football Tribe YouTube channel. Robert K. Sarkos is my name. Sorry I missed you over the course of the weekend due to personal engagements or life commitments that sort of dragged on, and Monday was quite a long one for me, but I did do a live broadcast on my Facebook, while Tuesday in itself has been quite kinda long. But I thought I should hoop on here and give you a broadcast as far as that fixture is coming your way. Yes, kickoff is at 10 p.m. That's East African time. Quite an entertaining London derby that we do expect there. So the first leg did end in a 2-all draw, and quite the fixture that everybody looks forward to, especially if you're an Arsenal fan or a Chelsea fan. Whereas for Chelsea, the season has not gone the way they had hoped, and neither has it gone for the Gunners in the way they had hoped. So both sides sort of meet at a time when they've been sort of disappointed by their sides. Chelsea being knocked out of the FA Cup there at the semi-finals when they lost to Manchester City over the weekend by a goal to nil at the Wembley Stadium. Bernardo Silva there on target, while Arsenal over the weekend were recovering from a double loss against Aston Villa by 2-0 the previous weekend, and then subsequently a 1-goal defeat against Bayern Munich that saw them be knocked out of the UEFA Champions League at the Allianz Arena. So they recovered from that with a 2-0 victory over Wolverhampton Wanderers. There goes by Leandro Trossard and Martin Odegaard on target for the Gunners. So it's a bit of a mixed feeling, or bad timing perhaps for the two sides, both coming to the fixture with their fair share of disappointments as far as the season is concerned overall. But I think cannot be sort of weight on either side on who feels worse, because Chelsea, their only chance for silverware lay in the FA Cup, while that of Arsenal lay in the Champions League and in the Premier League, and they've lost in both competitions and have since been knocked out of one, but do still have a bit of time to compete for the Premier League, although I think they have also lost that one. Arsenal cannot afford to falter, while Chelsea also want to redeem their chances of finishing in those at least Europa League places this season, regardless of how bad the season may have looked. Anyway, we'll look at the team news. So, because I thought in this broadcast, at least I should be fair to you and give you my expected lineups. But before we get to that, let's look at a little bit of the team news coming from both camps. As far as the Gunners are concerned, there is some exciting news there. They did welcome back their defender, that's Jurriën Timber, who did feature for the Gunners, the junior Gunners there, as they played against Blackburn. That game ending in a 2-all draw last night, so he won't be available for the squad that meets Chelsea tonight, but they must be pretty delighted with what they saw there. The former Ajax defender did score a goal, not just a goal, but a stunning goal in the 8th minute of that game, while I think the Gunners did score a penalty to make it 2-0, but Blackburn did come from 2 goals down to level matters there, as that game ended in a 2-all draw for the two sides. But the exciting news is that Jurriën Timber is back on the turf kicking a ball. Still speaking matters of injury news, Arsenal defender Takahiro Tomiyasu will be a doubt for this particular fixture, because I mean practically that's been the story, his story of the season. That's been his trend. He's been in and out of this squad through injury, and in spite the fact that he was handed a 2-year contract extension with the Gunners, it's been a disappointing season overall, in my view, for Takahiro Tomiyasu, because he has struggled a lot with injuries. On the side of the Blues, Chelsea, Cole Palmer did miss a training yesterday through illness, but manager Mauricio Pochettino did say he will be assessed on the morning of Tuesday, which is already today, to see whether he can feature for the Blues there. My gut feeling says he will be available, not just on the bench, but possibly even to start, because he is a very pivotal player for this Chelsea side. As we all know, he's a joint top scorer alongside Manchester City's about Erling Haaland. They did score, I think, 4 in their last Premier League game as they beat up against Everton by 6 goals to 0. There, one being a penalty in that fixture that they did fight for with Nicholas Jackson and Noni Madueke in that fixture. So, but anyways, they do have a fair share of other injuries that they've literally dealt with all throughout the season. The likes of Wesley Fofana, Leslie Wuguchuku, then Richie James, the captain there, has literally been out for the better part of the season. So those are some of their injury concerns that they do carry with them in this game. Levi Colwill is another one, as well as Robert Sanchez, but it doesn't mean that their squad is dilapidated so much that they will be scared going into this particular fixture. Yes, the other is Nkunku. Christopher Nkunku is also doubt for this particular fixture through injury. So that's what is coming out of Team Chelsea. As far as my expected starting lineups will be for this particular fixture, I do not expect many changes for the Gunners in regards to their team that beat up against Wolves. We do expect David Wire in goal. We do expect Ben White, as much as I would have loved to see him be rested for this particular fixture and have him much better ready for the other North London derby when they meet Tottenham Hotspurs in the weekend, because that will be Arsenal's next fixture, and it will come at a time when Tottenham have not kicked a ball in nearly 15 days or so, or around that. So clearly, and then in the central defense, it will be William Saliba alongside Gabriel Magalhaes. Now, of course, as we come to witness, the questions have always lingered on that left back role, which I do think Mikel Arteta's ideal personnel would have been Miriam Timber as far as the start of the season was concerned in terms of what he envisioned, but he has been injured almost all season. That's why you've seen Zinchenko in that role, you've seen Jakub Kiwior in that role, you've seen Takahiro Tomiyasu. So that leaves them with the option of either Jakub Kiwior and Zinchenko. My gut feeling says he will go with Jakub Kiwior. Yes, Jakub Kiwior did sort of struggle at the start in the game versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he was gotten the better of by Joe Gomez, who had to force David Wire into a spectacular save, tapping that ball off the post to the post and going out wide. So should that ball have gone in, maybe the result would have discussed over the weekend as far as Arsenal's result would have been very different. So I think given Chelsea's sort of threat on the flanks, it could be Jakub Kiwior, but this is a strong but. Should he field a very strong midfield with usually that literally double pivot, but with one of the sixes playing in the 8-4, then we could see Zinchenko being played there. Anyways, in midfield, ideally, I would want him to go with Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and Martin Odegaard. But for some reason, he seems to rest Partey these days, could not even give him enough playing time. He's been bringing him off the bench, so don't be surprised if it is Jorginho that starts alongside Declan Rice and then Martin Odegaard. Chances are is that he will change where Kai Havertz plays in this particular game. In the previous game, he played him in that number 8-4. He didn't do really bad, but I don't think he was spectacular as well. As we all know, he has a very good work rate, so I do think he will be played up top alongside Leandro Trossard and Bukayo Saka. I wouldn't be surprised if it is Gabriel Jesus or Gabriel Martinelli that starts in the place of Leandro Trossard. But at least we all know usually Bukayo Saka is not up for debate in that Arsenal starting lineup, and as well as Kai Havertz. Usually the debate is where he will play him, but he is always on that team sheet, just like his two centre-back pairing. And then on the side of Chelsea, we do expect Petrovic in goal. We do expect Thiago Silva in that backline alongside Trevor Chalobah there in that central defense. I do expect Malo Gusto in that right back. I do expect Marco Cucurella in that. Of course, Ben Chilwell is also available, but I get the sense that Mauricio Pochettino will go more or less with the same lineup that did start against Manchester City, because they didn't do bad although it did feel that they could have done a little more, perhaps, to try and edge Manchester City. And then, of course, in that midfield, I do expect a double pivot of Moises Caicedo alongside Enzo Fernandez. And then in that other set of three players, you do expect Cole Palmer in there. You do expect Conor Gallagher in the mix of things there. Or Nuno Madueke or Mokalo Modric there. And then, of course, Nicholas Jackson to lead the side up top. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Raheem Sterling started this game up front there, because Nicholas Jackson didn't have a decent game against Manchester City. He did miss, I think, about 3 chances there that he could have buried in the net to give Chelsea a decent result. So it didn't happen for him. As far as the starting levels go, those are my expectations. Do let me know what your thoughts are on this particular fixture, as well as your prediction. I was looking at the online sort of numbers there. I do not know whether they are by Opta or anything else, or Octopus or the supercomputer, whatever. But giving Arsenal a 66.7 chance to win this particular game, and giving Chelsea a 14%, and the other chances falling to a draw. If anything goes, is that Mauricio Pochettino has always troubled Arsenal, has always given this Arsenal side trouble, whether he was still at Tottenham, and even what we saw, at least in the first leg, that ended in a 2-2 draw there at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea did take, I think, the 2-goal lead in that particular fixture, and then we had, I think, Declan Rice score his first goal for the Arsenal side since joining them in the summer. And then the other goal, of course, that saw the game eventually end in a 2-2 draw. Anyway, do let me know what your thoughts are about this particular fixture, or what you think, or who you think will make it to the starting 11. Otherwise, thank you for always tuning to the channel. Do not forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And for those that have already subscribed, I do appreciate you so much. Otherwise, stay blessed. We'll discuss more fixtures that will be coming your way on Wednesday, as well as that fixture between Manchester City and Brighton that will come on Thursday. But plenty of games will come your way tomorrow. See you next time.